Hi, my name is John, and this is Business Focus. In today's video, we'll be talking about Jimmy Butler. If you're a big fan of sports, playoff is already in high gear. They're already in the latter stages, in the conference finals already, to see who will be representing both the East and West here. And if you've recently watched the latest uh, battle between Miami Heat and Boston Celtics, wherein now, as of this recording, Miami Heat is now up 2-0 in terms of, they were able to steal home court advantage in the first game. And then the second game, which is what we're here to discuss in particular, is don't poke the bear. And obviously, if you pissed off Jimmy Butler, and he could do a lot of damage to your team. And as in previous series, in particular in the first round with Milwaukee Bucks, you have one of the top defenders in the league, Drew Holiday, guarding him, and he couldn't even stop him if he wanted to. And then now you have in Boston a role player in Williams, who was doing well, and then tried to trash talk him, and they were ahead. I think when he drilled the 3 point shot, and lo and behold, and it woke up Mr. Butler here, and then the Miami Heat went on to go another run, which they were able to go up now 2-0 here. And you may be wondering, how is Jimmy Buckets able to do this? And obviously his work attitude and his ability was enhanced since moving here to Miami here. And if we were to look at his journey, in particular his journey on where he started to where he is, there were a lot of people who was against him in terms of portraying him as a negative light, that he was a problem maker, problematic. That's why teams were willing to ship him off to another one. And he made three stops along the way before reaching to Miami. And lo behold, you know, they've been proven wrong. It was not him the problem. It was the people around him and the team not understanding who Jimmy Buckets is all about here. And if we were to see who are those teams, where the heck is it? There you go. As you can see here, he was drafted by Chicago Bulls way back in 2011, and then I think it was Tom Thibodeau, the current coach of New York, was the coach at that time. And you know, he was still a upper riser, but he did his hard work and he was able to perform, not to where he is now, but he was uh, competent enough that he's in the league. And then obviously after 5 or 6 years, they ship him out to the Minnesota, which I think was a blessing that the Minnesota needed to jolt the team, because they were lackluster for so long. And even though he was only there for one full season, he was able to bring help the team reach the playoffs. And actually, if you remember, when he was healthy, they were the number 3 seed. They were a top seed in the West at that time before he got hurt. And for some miraculous whatever I forgot what was his injury at the time. He was able to recover before the end of the season and help them limp into the playoffs there. And if you remember, there was an incident regarding the teammates were not as serious as he was in the commitment of being a professional player. Winning is important, and not just getting a paycheck, which is they're paid a lot of money to play basketball, as Charles Barkley mentions. And in this incident, where in a practice where he was supposed to team up with his first team players, with uh, Andrew Wiggins and Carl Anthony Towns, he chose to play with second or third string players and still defeat the the first team players, and go on an interview in this video wherein he dominated them, and brag, and obviously had a lot of issues. And then obviously the team chose Carl Anthony Towns, the player, over him, and ship him off to Philadelphia, which is the next part, which is, I think, another coup for Philadelphia at the time. But again, they were star-studded at the time. If you remember, you have Jimmy Butler, you have Ben Simmons at the time, who was still competent. and then you have Joel Embiid. And there was another string player, which the name Tobias Harris, which will be the focal point in this particular segment, wherein at the end of the season they were trying to re-up either both of them, but they prioritize him. But uh, I think it was in his interview where he mentioned in the JJ Reddick podcast, which I strongly recommend you check it out if you're interested the whole story, wherein he narrates that he was asked if he can be controlled so that he can stay with the team. Now, obviously, he's an adult. He can make his own decision, and they what they did was choose Tobias Harris over him. And in the subsequent playoffs, the Miami Heat was able to defeat the Philadelphia 76ers. And I think on his way out, he was lambasting the team for Tobias over me, that he said that they made the wrong choice, which I think if Jimmy Butler was still in Philadelphia, they would be now in position to be in the championship or in multiple runs in the championship here, not maybe Miami, who's already Jimmy Butler able to help them reach a championship in the bubble, and now they're on the cusp of 2 games away being able to reach again the NBA finals here. And which just goes to show what type of a person he is, and that even though he has limitations as a player, but based on his work ethic, which in this case the Miami Heat values, which Pat Riley values in hard work, and that can be relied upon, can bring up other loggers, in this case whether you're role players, undrafted players at that, the many undrafted players in the Miami Heat team, and they are able to overcome better individual players in the different teams that they've come across, from the first round with the Milwaukee Bucks, in the second round with the New York Knicks, and now they're on the cusp now of overcoming the number one seed, the number two seed or three seed. I forgot what seed is the Boston. Let me take a look. They're number two seed. That's right. So they're on the cusp of already reaching the finals with just a ragtag of team with the leader that is Jimmy Butler here. And obviously, trash talking has a double-edged sword. You can only do that if you can back it up. And obviously, if you're Grant Williams, uh, that didn't go as planned, because who is Grant Williams in this matter here? He's a role player. He was doing well, and since igniting the flame with Jimmy Butler, guess what happened? He got benched. Now, partly it was his fault. Partly, I think I blame the coach and the players themselves, especially their top players who's not guarding Jimmy Butler at a crucial time. You have one of their best players, which is Jason Tatum, not guarding Jimmy Butler in crunch time, and then you have Jalen Brown, who's also not guarding Jimmy Butler here, which I don't understand. And for me, that's why I admire Jimmy Butler as a two-way player. He may have his limitation, may not be a great outside shooter, but he does everything else really well to give their team a chance, similar to how Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets does everything really well. A great passer, so it's difficult to stop him. And even if you are able to stop his offense, he still orchestrates his team. And also, two teams I really, like following them. Denver now is on the cusp, being now 3-0 over the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think I would like to see both of them reach the finals, but I'm torn. I prefer, I think, since Denver is on the rise, they have more chances to be able to get to that point. But I don't know about Miami, because they need another superstar to support Jimmy Butler here. You know, but we'll see. Hopefully, they'll reach the pinnacle, which is reach the championship, and one of them can pit it out and find out who will be the best team for this season here. But one thing you've learned here: never piss off one of the NBA superstars here, because if it's like Larry Bird, he can back it up in terms of play, shooting, and all around impact throughout the game here. And Obviously, Jimmy Butler does a lot of things really well, and he scored either scoring a lot of points, scoring 50, 60 points in a playoff game, doing it back to back, or doing whatever it takes to carry the team or play majority of the minutes and not taking rest so that the team has a chance of winning here. So, you know, obviously the Miami Heat made the right choice in investing in the right kind of player that would suit the team here, which is, you know, even though throughout the season they were up and down, but they were building their character, their chemistry here, and it has benefited now since their blowout in the play-in tournament. They've been on the roll ever since, and I think they have the uh, better team approach in terms of their ability to consistently push through regardless of the ups and downs throughout the game. Not more so than the Boston Celtics, wherein they're pretty extreme in terms of their performance, very very good or very very bad, and the consistency is the key part, especially here in the crucial playoffs here. So we'll see. So don't don't get Jimmy Butler angry again in the future. I think that's the mantra or the takeaway here if you're the opponent of the Miami Heat here. Anyway, that's about it for this week. Come back again on Monday for more Monday checklist. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.